4 for 4, and he's thrown for 32 yards.
Second down and 5. Garner, not much. Up to hit him first, Wayne Martin. One injury note to point out for the Eagles, Tim. They already have injuries all over their defensive front. Mark Gunn has been taken to the locker room for x-rays. He has a problem with his big toe on his right foot, so they may lose another defensive lineman.
That hurts their defense. You see his counterpart, Wayne Martin, right there, number 93, and look at the intensity in his eyes. I mean, his eyes are as wide as saucers, and he's a guy who comes to play every play.
6 defensive backs into the game on 3rd and 5. Waters, perfect throw and a Philadelphia first down. Well, we've overused it already, but the word precision aptly describes that throw from Rodney Peete.
And look at him. Look at how calm he is. Look at the cool. He also has to be thrilled with what his offensive line just did for him. They allowed that play to develop, and watch him. He's got all the time in the world. He's got time to think. He's got time to make that precise pass.
Pickup of 12 on the throw. And this offensive line, which has allowed the second most sacks in the NFL, 15, doing a good job at the start. First down in the hand to Garner. Charlie Garner with a big hit. And Sean Lumpkin was not cuckoo by Garner as he got it to the 15. Pickup of 8.
The Saints, as any team playing defense against the Philadelphia Eagles, were very concerned with the changeup from Ricky Waters to Charlie Garner. Garner has actually carried the ball better than Waters this year. He picks up more yardage. You see what he does there is gets through the hole fast, and then like a big back, which he's not, he lowers the shoulder and gets a couple more.
Second down and 2 after that pickup of 8. And this drive is already consumed more than 7.5 minutes from the clock. Barnett down to the 2. And a first and goal for the Eagles at the 2. And so far, Peete is 5 for 5.
This is a great thing for Rodney Peete because it's going to make his offensive teammates and it's going to make the whole team love him. They're going to believe that Peete, hey, he's coming in, he's trying to replace a guy who's a legend. You see him there pumping his hand. Peete, he's going to the sideline. He's coming back in now. This guy is pumped up, and he should be. These guys are going to believe in him.
Randall Cunningham, a legend for many different reasons. Some good, some not so good. First and goal, Waters, big hit, and brought down just inside the 2. And that big Vince Buck. And the whistles have blown. That play was dead. Buck came away with it. But a big hit put on Ricky Waters.
Yeah, I think Winfred Tubbs, 54, is the guy who... Nope, he's not the guy. Wayne Martin is the guy who puts the big hit on Waters. And when you're down at the goal line, that's what you have to do. You've got to reverse the direction. You've got to reverse the forward-moving force of that running back, and he hit him so hard that Waters is down now.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the first quarter. The Saints took the opening kickoff, drove down the field, got a 34-yard field goal from Chip Lohmiller. The Eagles trying to go one better. They've moved it down the field. They check on Waters' second and goal when we come back. 3 tight ends sent into the game for the Eagles on second and goal. Garner, nothing. And that jet defense for the Saints coming up big on the goal line stand, and they check on Ricky Waters. They're checking that melon.
Yeah, that was one of the Saints' priorities on the defensive side of the ball today, to hit Waters hard, to hit him early, and take his momentum away. Waters is a guy who can build up steam. And to the left of the screen, it's actually 91, Pitt Goff, who gets him helmet to helmet and just pops his head back. That's like a whiplash in a car accident. That can hurt your head or it can hurt your neck.
Timeout has been called. Rodney Peete 6 of 6 on the Eagles' opening possession. They're faced with a 3rd and goal when we come back.
You can see the sweat on these Saints defensive players, on their faces, on their necks. They have just experienced a 15-play drive over 82 yards by the Eagles. The thing about a goal line stand is they can take all the momentum away from the Eagles if they stop them now and hold them to a field goal.
2 tight ends into the game for the Eagles on 3rd and goal. Heat, a lot of pressure. Incomplete. And the Eagles will be forced to kick. Ernest Dixon celebrating along with Sean Lumpkin.
And this defense has to celebrate, because when you give up a drive like this and you stop it now, and the Saints had talked about assignments, and the assignments are right on here. Everybody's got a man, and the pressure is on Pete, so he does not have time to work around back there and get rid of the ball.
And it was one of those linebackers we talked about, Dixon, covering Barnett. And that was the first incomplete pass of the first quarter by Rodney Peete. Gary Anderson, one of the best, good from 20 yards. A 3-point swing for the Eagles. But for the Saints defense, a win. 3-3 in the first quarter, under a minute to go in Louisiana. 3:15 to play here in the first half, and the Saints have it first down from their own 4. Bates. Taylor can't make the tackle, and Bates gets a first down. Mario Bates ran over the rookie Bobby Taylor, and that's been a knock against Taylor, a tough time tackling.
I said before that Taylor was a gamer. He's a gamer on his pass protection, on covering guys out of the backfield and the wide receivers, but he's not the guy to make the tackle. Here he comes, right up on Bates. He's got his arms around him, and that's been a complaint with Bobby Taylor, that he's too soft on his tackling. 51 yards for Bates here in the first half. Pickup of 11, and now wide open is Early. No penalty flag as Everett overshoots him. Bobby Taylor, it looked like he slipped, fell down, whatever, but Everett threw it too long. That's a pass that Jim Everett will not easily forget about. When you've got your guy wide open down the field, you've got to make it happen. And Jim Everett so far today is really not on. His offensive line doing a good job of protecting him. His accuracy is down. Only two completions out of 9 attempts so far today. You see Taylor getting up behind Early, lost the coverage. Now Everett throws to the sideline, and the pass is incomplete. Make it 2 out of 10 for Everett as that ball skipped in there to Quinn Early. So 20% at the start for Everett. And a 3rd and 10 coming up for New Orleans. And I know that Jim Everett came into this game expecting that Ray Rhodes would try to put a lot of pressure on him by sending linebackers and defensive backs on the blitz. So far, Rhodes has put his defense in the position to cover Everett more, and it seems to have thrown him off more effectively than a pass rush. 3rd and 10. Everett plenty of time, and he has his tight end Wesley Wall. And a first down out near the 35. Bobby Taylor again over on that side to help make the stop, a pickup of 19. And there is a heck of a battle brewing up on the left-hand side of the screen. Rowe and Mamula really going at it. Mamula doing a nice job of pushing Rowe backward. And even though he doesn't get his hands on Everett, Everett knows he's there. When he sees 77 in his face like that, he feels him bumping. He knows the pressure is coming from the left side. First down for the Saints. Final play before the 2-minute warning. Bates. Not much. Gunn there to make a stop, and nice to see Mark Gunn back in the lineup for the Eagles. He left earlier with the bad toe. So under 2 to go, and time for our Aflac trivia question. Who was the last Philadelphia Eagles offensive lineman to be voted to the Pro Bowl, and what year did that occur? The Aflac answer when we come back, tied at 3. Our Aflac trivia question answer: the last Philadelphia Eagles offensive lineman to be voted to the Pro Bowl, Jerry Sizemore, the offensive tackle back in 1982. It's been a while. And they're still searching for tackles who can protect the quarterback. Meanwhile, the Saints have it second down with 1:57 to play here in the half. Quinn Early,
complete, and there's Mark McMillan with a hit.
And that's what Mark McMillan does as a defensive back. Yeah, he's 5'7", sure, he's 148 pounds, but he packs a wallop. And although it would be a heck of a catch for Quinn Early to pull this ball down, McMillan's there to make sure that he disrupts it. And it's just a pop right in Early's ribs that breaks the concentration and does not enable Early to get the pass.
3rd down and 7. Everett over the middle, Torrance small, wrapped up and brought down short of a 1st down. Good tackling by the Eagles linebackers, and a 4th down time for the Saints to punt, and what a big stop that was.
That's big time defensive tackling, because Everett finds the receiver, he delivers the ball, and then it's close, and then Woodard uses his strength, his upper body strength, to wrestle him down and stop the Saints.
Played nearby in college at Mississippi State. Mark Woodard. Klaus Wilmsmeyer, and penalty flags will check the call. If this is against the Eagles jumping, it would cost Philadelphia dearly. We'll get the call from Walt Coleman.
False start prior to the snap, number 56. 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
So the Saints trying to do everything they can to draw the Eagles offsides, wouldn't do it, and Ernie Dixon guilty, and that'll cost the Saints 5 yards.
Right. Even if the Eagles jump, they've got to cross into that neutral zone and make the offensive guy move, or they've got to cross and make contact with the offensive guy for the penalty to be against the defense.
So Wilmsmeyer ready to punt it away to Kelvin Martin. 5th penalty here in the half against the Saints. 4 punt by Wilmsmeyer, but a good bounce. And Wilmsmeyer fortunate that ball went forward out of bounds around the Philadelphia 24. 31-yard punt, that's it. And there's big Steve Hendrickson, the special teams wacko for the Eagles. Philadelphia has it. 1:01 to go here in the half. We're tied at 3. Well, coming up on the Dockers halftime, JB, Terry, Howie, and Jimmy will have all the scores and highlights. That is coming up on the Dockers halftime. Ray Rhodes and the Eagles have the ball, 1st and 10. The ball out across their own 25-yard line, and they have 1:01 to go here in the 1st half.
And this is a touchy time for Ray Rhodes, because in the last 2 games, he's had leads going into halftime within the 2-minute warning. He sat on one lead and lost it, and then he went for the lead. He went to preserve the lead by moving the ball last week in Oakland, and he lost the lead that way. So it'll be interesting to see how Ray Rhodes responds.
I would imagine they'll try to go down the field. They have 3 timeouts remaining. Pete dumps it out to McCrary. Out of bounds right at the 1st down marker. Sean Lumpkin there for the Saints. And able to get out of bounds with 53 seconds left in the half. And remember, the Eagles have all 3 timeouts. They have plenty of time to get into field goal position. Second down coming up for Philadelphia. First down and more. Rodney Peete into New Orleans territory, and he'll call it timeout. They're left with 2 and plenty of time. Rodney Peete looking like this guy.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what Pete does. He's got the precision to run the West Coast, but he's got the savvy and the moxie to improvise and make a big play if he needs it.
Hanged up on that last play. He walks off. And the Saints, because we're under 2 minutes, are charged with a timeout as well. So they're left with 1. The Eagles are left with 2. And Philadelphia has a first down inside New Orleans territory.
And Joe Johnson actually gets to stay since the Eagles took a timeout.
So he is in the lineup, and extra defense.